Hi, this is the Chop Sake Otaku, and before I get to my top 3, I got one important thing for the companies that support SOPA and PIPA and all that. 1. If you want to compete against the internet, or you don't like these websites, you could just buy them up or something. Or if you're trying to pass SOPA and PIPA, which I think is a bad idea, but if you want them passed so badly, then you should really look into the political things of the gamers. See what they hate. They hate the Red Cross for discussing violent video games. My suggestion is, add a thing of that if you support SOPA and PIPA, that we can hurt the Red Cross in some way. Basically, my message is for the companies. If you really want this passed, and you really want to shut down the internet and have our internet the same as China and Iran to control free speech, this is what you do. You don't do it sneakily. That's your big problem. That was a big mistake to try to do it underhand, because there's all these internet people and stuff. But if you really want it passed, you should address these people who are on the internet, who are not pirates, like the Nostalgia Critic, Angry Video Game Nerd, and stuff. If you're trying to compete, put something in it that doesn't make them lose their jobs, instead of the site closing down, and say that the site has to be owned by a company or something. Say that something that the site, instead of it just saying it's a pirate site and it shuts down, says what defines a pirate site. Say that it's owned by like a big corporation. To let those, not that a pirate site owned by, but a non-site that's owned. Try to buy those people out, like Screw Attack and stuff. Just have them do the same thing, but instead of just say that they're getting paid by the big corporations now and stuff, and that, you should do something. Being it sneaky and the way you're doing it is all wrong. What you should do is say, is try to buy up those things, or say that the internet people, the internet community on there, still gets to have their shows, but I don't know, half of the profit has to go to you guys, or something in the law to stay there, that they get to be there if half of their profit goes to the big corporations. I don't know. Try to wheel and deal, but that's the main thing, is that you're saying that these internet celebrities don't get to even exist anymore, and you should really address that. But yeah, and also the Red Cross, they were going to have a discussion about violent video games. Tell gamers, support them, and say, if you support SOPA and PIPA, we can do something about the Red Cross. Investigating violent video games will hurt them in some way if you pass it. But that's about it. If you do those two things, you should be able to pass this bill. But yeah, be smart and try to negotiate with the internet crowd and with the gamer crowd. You really do need those to support this bill if you really want it passed by the governors and other legislation. That's about it. That's it, and now time for the top 3. This is the Chop Sake Otaku with the top 3 video game companies of all time. Hi, this is the Chop Sake Taku with number 3 is Sony. They got number 3 because they got good games and that's it. But as for the games itself, they could be on any system. Sony got lucky. They have a video game division, but overall, I would say watch the Game Overthinkers, The Emperor Has No Clothes, because it is so true about that company, Sony. They have no real business being in gaming, and they really just got lucky back then in the 90s, and they're lucky now because they made great games. So I'm glad to see them that they messed up again. Well, it was pretty obviously that they had no business in gaming when they did 3 mistakes. Number 1, the most important thing, is they said to Naughty Dog, they said to Naughty Dog not to let them be in control or let them program any more Crash games. And that was partly Naughty Dog's fault because they didn't really have any legal thing to that game. They didn't make sure that it was owned by Naughty Dog, that they let it be owned by Sony. But anyway, that's the first mistake that I knew I need to get out of this company. This company really doesn't know anything. Number 2 is they didn't have a joystick on the PSP, and number 3 is the ridiculous price of the PS3. Ridiculous price is $600 for the PS3. But yeah, so they got lucky for 11 years, 94 to 2005, and they got lucky again here. But yeah, congratulations, Sony, and also they did, I guess, take Nintendo down a peg for a while, but only for like 11 years, and that's it. Yeah, they got lucky, and so yeah, watch The Emperor Has No Clothes by the Game Overthinker on ScrewAttack.com. Number 2 is Xbox. It's number 2 for its first-person shooters. I like first-person shooters. I like them a lot. They're my favorite genre of games. If I had to choose one, it would be first-person shooters. Yeah. So, but anyway, about Xbox, they have a lot of first-person shooters. Not all of them good, but they're the only video game company that really does have first-person shooters. But that's only because first-person shooters aren't big in Japan. Most video games, you know, Sony and Nintendo both came from Japan. You know, but they're just not big in Japan. I don't know why. Although hopefully Nintendo does do a Mario Paintball in the first-person perspective that might get the Japanese into first-person shooters. I hope. I don't know. That's what the Game Overthinker said, but that would be cool to see, Nintendo, a Mario Paintball game. But yeah. First-person shooters are my favorite genre. Unfortunately, even my favorite genre games are kind of slacking. Even this newest one from id Rage is really slacking. I don't know. I can't say it's bad or good. It's just in between. It's just there. But it got pretty close to bad. Number 1 video game company is Nintendo. And it's number 1 because they did Super Mario Brothers. They, you know, yeah, they messed up with the game, the Virtual Boy, but that was just one mistake out of many great things that Nintendo did. That was only one thing. But but you know, I gotta say, to me, I'm gonna say Nintendo's #1 will always be #1. They did Super Mario Brothers, and that's yeah, they're #1. So yeah, good for you, Nintendo. I don't know what else to say. They've done a lot. I haven't tried Zelda. I know that's by the same guy as Mario. Gotta try that one of these days.